Hi class, so my name is Lee and this is my submission for current controversies for our class. Propaganda, in summary, is defined as a form of communication to achieve a response. Well, as a British person, I decided that the go-to for this one was going to be Brexit. I think Brexit is a fantastic example of all aspects of propaganda, types of propaganda, examples of propaganda, and also persuasion. To say it achieved a response would be grossly understating how it was. It's so contentious. There are people in family groups, friendships, that are even not talking or just do not talk about it because it causes too much friction. There was definitely agenda setting from both sides of Brexit. The Brexiteers wanted to end the status quo of being in the European Union. They wanted us to take back sovereignty, our independence, the right to self-determination, to generate our own destiny. And I'm literally using words that have been used. Whereas the Remain side was like wanting to continue this road of peace and prosperity, of unity, of progress, and so forth. A lot of the propaganda is definitely steeped in historical context on the Brexit side. On the EU side, it's kind of relating back, it's steeped in this peace and prosperity idea. Shaping perceptions was definitely at the forefront, using language and imagery. We have posters, we have tabloids, we have clothing, we have stamps, we have a whole range of things that we use to convince people to either vote to leave or vote to remain. Our book had talked about activated ideologies. I definitely think this was agitative, which was defined as to rouse an audience to meet certain ends and usually resulting in a significant change. Well, this definitely roused the audience, and it definitely led to a significant change, as ultimately we ended up voting to leave the European Union, whether we liked it or not. The propagandists heavily played on sort of British cultural norms or group norms, beliefs, values, attitudes, behaviours. No rock in that respect was left unturned. A lot of the posters resonate with people, whether you like them or not. They resonate with you. They're relatable. They definitely link into culture and history, through and through. In terms of like black, white, and grey propaganda, I would probably say on both. I'd say on the Remain side, it was fairly white propaganda. There wasn't a lot of kind of underhand techniques in some respects. On the Brexit side, at best, it was grey propaganda. Maybe some things they might say were not necessarily untrue, but they were so brief and misconstrued. Or I'll show you the examples just to see what I mean. But the likelihood is there was a lot of black propaganda in there, for sure. There was definitely some containment of information as well. I don't have the poster for it, but they had one thing on the side of a bus. They used public transport to spread this message that if we departed the European Union, the £315 million a week, which is UK currency pounds, we were given to the EU and to the EU budget we could use to fund our own healthcare system. As some people may or may not know, the national healthcare system in the UK is highly valued. It's regarded as one of the greatest creations as a society we've implemented in the last century. And the thought of anything being a detriment to it invokes a lot of emotion. Anything that could benefit it definitely invokes a lot of emotion. So let me show you the examples. First of all, you have this one. Nigel Farage, the man that led the United Kingdom Independence Party, the party that dominated the pro-Brexit campaign, was never in government, yet pretty much in some cases was acting as the de facto government. The irony here is almost this is like him on a stamp with Brexit, the British flag in the background. Traditionally on our stamps is the Queen, so I don't know if this has a sort of royalty stroke deity feel to it. Definitely thinks highly of himself. maybe even almost a liberator. You know, this idea of opinion leaders. Well, there's that man himself. Not too sure what he liberated us from, but some may argue otherwise. Here's another Brexit campaign one. Believe in Britain. Definitely popular with the Brexiteers, this whole idea of believing in Britain. Not too sure why they didn't think we believed in Britain anyway, but as you can see, the flag is everywhere. Clothing, patriotism, glasses, patriotism, posters, very clear messages, and leave means leave. I suppose that's kind of to target the pro-Remainers. You have newspaper example, believe in Britain. The below one is a pro-Remain one. The only single market I want to leave is Tinder. I'm sure many of us would agree that Tinder is probably going to be ranked below the European Union single market. I'm sure there's a lot more benefits to the EU single market. Definitely an interesting one to consider, because Tinder is like a modern social era app. It's social media and plays with the sort of younger generations maybe, but the point is, you know, we're all on our phones, we're all using our phones, we're all dependent on it. Millions of us are using this app, but the reality is the single market would probably make for a better commitment. And then you have ones like this, play on communism, play on this idea, maybe this will resonate with some of the Americans, in this group, you know, interfering with elections, how voting for Brexit may be a better outcome for others and not us. This one plays on security, mass immigration, breaking point, the EU has failed us all. Not true. Now this one, this even made me think of high school, the historical sentiment, you know, this, I suppose, in the true source, would be the Nazis kind of advancing upon Britain. This is the sea border, this is mainland Europe, this is the United Kingdom, or the southern bottom of England. And, you know, everyone would have found something looking at this. From the younger generations to the more senior generations, war is very entrenched in our culture. There's definitely a lot of sentimental value attached to it. You know, this idea of losing sovereignty, this idea of being encroached on. This right there is a perfect example of that. Play on words, who do you think you are? So it kind of gets that EU, that negative connotations there in your mind. Just like the Brexit one did, kind of plays on linguistics and style of linguistics as well. And we also have this one. I can quickly find where I put it. This is pro-EU one. This one I really like. The best deal is with you. Again, a play on words. This is positive, connotations. The British flag, European Union flag, symbolism with heart in the middle. This one plays on phrases. You know, shooting yourself in the foot, British flag on the shoe. We're going to shoot ourselves in the foot if we vote Brexit. There is so many different types of propaganda, of attempts, persuasion attempts, that Brexit could be used as an example or a definition for pretty much all aspects of propaganda and persuasion. So I apologize, this has gone slightly over. Hopefully this all made sense and I didn't rush through it too quickly for you. If you don't know much about Brexit, I would definitely look it up. You're not going to be short of examples of propaganda and how it can be used to sway an entire country, but uniquely as well, how it can divide aspects of a country, particularly when you consider the United Kingdom as a union of nations, and 2 out of 4 voted one way and 2 out of 4 voted the other way. So that just adds an extra element of frustration and division now, unfortunately. So anyway, I'll leave you with that, and thank you for listening.